Yesterday I uploaded one video on YouTube, which is around I think more than 30 minutes, and I explained how you can use Power Automate or Microsoft Flow with the details like what are the advantages, what is exactly Power Automate Flow, and all this stuff. So then I realized I should put a similar kind of video where to the training course where you will get everything on one video. At least you will get the overview of what is exactly Power Automate and or Microsoft Flow. So that's the reason I am creating this video, and obviously there will be little bit of extra information will be there compared to the YouTube video, and but you will surely get an idea how exactly you will work with Power Automate from this single video, including the licensing and other stuff. So I will also show you how we can create a flow and different types of flows, these things. Now for this, again I have also explained the same thing in the YouTube channel over there in that video, that I have created a detailed article on that, and in that article I'll explain how exactly it will work. I'll put the link over there in the video description also on this one, and you will get the article link. So that's how it will be. So let me first of all tell you what are the basically the things that we are going to cover on this video. So we will discuss on what is exactly Microsoft Flow or Power Automate that we talk, why you use this, why an organization will use Microsoft Flow, and Microsoft Flow key features, why it is so popular, and then we'll see how to use Microsoft Flow, what are the requirements that you need to use Flow, and then we will understand is Microsoft Flow free, and I'll tell you how exactly you can practice Flow free over there, and then I'll discuss about the pricing or the licensing, how exactly the Flow licensing works, and also how to start with Flow, and then we will discuss about two important things, templates and connectors in Flow, and then we'll see the type of flows and how we can create a flow using Power Automate, and then there will be certain links where you will see a kind of examples will be there, and then what are the alternatives of Microsoft Flow, and if you are familiar with SharePoint Designer workflows, then will this Microsoft Flow is a replacement for that, for the SharePoint Designer workflows, and then we'll see what are the advantages basically we'll get if you'll use Flow over SharePoint Designer. So these are the high level basic things that we will discuss, and the intention of the video is to get everything in one video so that you will get an idea of Microsoft Flow or the Power Automate, how it works. Now let me open the article. So if you'll see, this is the article and I have explained all the points here, so we will go one by one on this. Now if I will tell you what is Flow or Power Automate, this is basically a cloud service from Microsoft, which comes as a part of Office 365 also, and this will help you to simplify your day-to-day repetitive task to flows, which will actually run by themselves without much manual intervention. Now why without much? Because maybe there will be some time you have to do a button click for approval or rejection things, so it will not be fully automatic, that there will be totally not any manual things will be there. There will be very limited, and definitely the steps which we usually do manually, those things will be automatic, so you can save a lot of time on this. And then if you are actually little bit familiar with the SharePoint Designer workflows, we exactly do the same thing. So then in those scenarios you will get actually a clear understanding what are flows. So basically what we are doing in Designer, you are creating flows or creating workflows which will simplify our task. So let's say there is a document approval which is required. So instead of doing manual sending out an email to the person who will be responsible for approval, so you will attach a workflow to that particular library, and whenever a new document will be uploaded, then that time the workflow will trigger and it will do the approval job. And another thing is that so when we talk about SharePoint Designer workflows, we talk about SharePoint there, but when we talk about Flow, we are not talking simply about SharePoint. we are talking about other products and services, and that might not be Microsoft. This can be other services also to which you can connect and communicate. So that other services can be Google, Gmail, Facebook, Twitter, even there are a lot more business applications are there. We'll see that when we will discuss about the connectors. And by using Flow, basically we can send notifications, you can send push notifications, you can send emails, you can ask for approvals, lot of things you can do. Even you can copy files from one place to another place, like this will do that. Now what is Power Automate? Power Automate is nothing, the same thing is the Flow. Only thing is Microsoft changed the name. So they have changed this name and like Power BI and Power Apps, so they make it Power Automate. So it is just the name change. Apart from that, there is nothing change that as a developer or as a business user we should know that, because you are going to open the same URL flow.microsoft.com, even that is not powerautomate.microsoft.com. The same it will open the flow.microsoft.com, and then it will open the same place where you can create your flows. So there is no difference. So even someone is telling Flow or Power Automate, that's the same thing. Now why we will use Microsoft Flow? Now there will be basically, if you'll see overall what is a flow, that's basically something that will automate our business processes. So when we are saying business processes, maybe it's a laptop request approval process, maybe it is something your leave request, maybe it is something your product approval process. So where there are a lot of tasks are there, so those things we can do by using Flow, which will add these actions or the stages and the steps. And we can use Flow not to just send email notifications or push notification, you can do a lot more things also. So one thing majorly that we use is approval. So you can actually create simple approval to complex approvals by using Flow. So when I am saying simple approval, maybe it will just go to a one level person who will check and approve it, or maybe it will go to multi-level approval process. So if I'll give an example of multi-level approval process, take the example of laptop request form. When you are actually requesting for a laptop, maybe you require the approval from your manager first, and then it will go to your finance team, or maybe it will go to your IT team. Your IT team will be the person actually who will deliver your laptop. So they will check whether it is available or not, and related to the finance, related to the price of laptop, your finance team should approve it. So that kind of approvals which you can make it easy by using Flow. Apart from that also we can capture information. So when I'm saying capture information, if you'll see nowadays, you will see people will do Twitter context or Facebook tags. They will say that you can put this hashtag in Facebook pages, and then you can you'll get a chance to win some goodies or something like that. Sometimes let's say your company is doing some events and they want to put a specific hashtag, and you can actually capture those information. So you can create a flow which will actually pull out the information from Twitter, or it will pull the tweets from the Twitter profile which will be having some specific hashtag, and then you can save those tweets to probably a Google Sheet, probably to a SharePoint list. So it is up to you where you can store it. So that's how we can capture information by using Flow. Now in those scenarios, maybe you will see that you are not dealing at all with SharePoint, you are just dealing with other services. Now apart from that also, you can store email attachments. For example, let's say I want if someone or some email comes to a particular folder with some attachment, then that attachment should be saved to a particular library. So you can actually create a flow which will take your email attachment, or a copy of your email attachment will be stored in a SharePoint library. That also you can do. And the other one I was talking about, you can copy files between OneDrive for Business and SharePoint. You can even copy, or you can sync your files from OneDrive and your Google Drive. So you can do that. On a button click, you can even upload your photos to OneDrive for Business. on a button click you can upload your photos to Google Drive. So those things you can do by using Flow. Apart from this, nowadays if you'll see those who have Office 365 subscription, they are using or they have implemented Office 365 in their organization, you will see that lot more are using Microsoft Teams, and that is one place nowadays people are using. You can see everything just in the Teams. You can share your files, you can add a tab where you will display your Power BI report. Everything you can do on Teams. Lot more things are there. And there also you can use Flow to communicate with. So for example, you can write a flow which will post messages to your teams whenever a new task you will create in Planner. So that means, let's say there's a person to whom you are assigning a task in Planner, and then you can actually put that message in the teams so that they can also see from there. Or you can even alert a team when a specific document will be uploaded. Or even you can post messages whenever a new email arrives to your Office 365 Outlook. So those kind of things you can do. We can communicate with teams as well. You can post messages over there. So these are kind of scenarios where you can use Flow or Power Automate. Now you by this time you must have been realized, if you have little bit knowledge on the SharePoint Designer workflows, that there are a lot more things out there which you cannot do using SharePoint Designer workflows. Now next thing is, what are the key features? Why actually Power Automate or Microsoft Flow is getting popular? Now there are a lot more advantages over your SharePoint Designer workflows, but let's see, first of all, not compared with Designer workflows, because when we are talking about Flow, is not about SharePoint. So let's spark that thing. First, understand Flow advantages. So if you'll see here, the main advantages is that you can communicate with various apps and services, and these are not limited to your Microsoft products. So these are actually not specific to SharePoint. These are not specific to Office 365 products. These are any kind of products. Maybe it's a third-party products. Maybe it is a Office 365. Maybe it is from Azure. So maybe it is from AWS. Anywhere you can do that. Now, if you'll see here, these are few of the third-party or non-Microsoft products, you can say, like Google, Twitter, Facebook, Salesforce, Google Drive, Dropbox, Trello, Instagram, Slack, Blogger. So these are few of the products that you can communicate with. So these are the services, you can say, these are the apps that you can communicate from your Flow. So that means not limited to SharePoint. And another thing is that in Microsoft Flow or whatever in Power Automate, if you'll see, Microsoft provides a lot of templates. So these templates are ready to use. You can just click over there. You can just configure your email ID. So when actually you're creating, if you have not signed in, it will say, okay, sign in to your SharePoint, because we want the information from SharePoint. Now in those scenarios, if you'll see, those templates are very useful. Actually, you will not require a developer for these things. You can simply click on that and then you will get a flow which is ready to use. So, and of course you can anytime go and edit the templates, but the templates has this benefit. You don't really need to build a flow from the scratch to use it. So you'll get a lot of templates over there. And so these flow templates will be having steps or actions with pre-filled data. For example, let's say there is a email action. So you'll actually see there will be an email composed over there, hello, and then probably it might be taking the display name, and then say you have uploaded this file, thanks, like this. So you'll see a pre-filled information will be there also. So simply you can use that. And a few of the templates like send myself a reminder in 10 minutes, start approval when a new item is added, send a that means when you will actually use this template, you will see that it will create a flow with the steps. And similarly, send a customized email when a new SharePoint list item is added. So if you open this flow, there will be a email will be there and it will be configured. So you will get a complete thing that you can use. So these are the value or these are the advantages of using Microsoft Flow. That's why it is easy to use. So you will see your business users or citizen developers or your even who doesn't have any developer knowledge, they can just within a few clicks they will be able to create a flow. And then if you'll see here, this I covered this point. So this is so easy that you will not wait for any developer. If you will compare just little bit of the SharePoint Designer, you will see that if you want to create a flow then or a workflow using SharePoint Designer, then you have to wait for a developer to come. This is not the scenario. They will simply go to the browser and then they will create the flow. So this is so useful. And now we will see how to use Microsoft Flow. So to use Microsoft Flow, you don't need to really install anything. Even in SharePoint, if you want to develop something in SharePoint Designer, let's say workflow, then you have to install SharePoint Designer over in your desktop, and then you can connect to site and then you can use it. But if you will see here, Microsoft Flow, you don't need anything. You simply require a browser and you require an email address. So, and that's enough to create a flow or use Microsoft Flow. Now, only thing you remember that as of now, Microsoft doesn't support .gov or .mil email address. Apart from these two, you can use any email address and you can sign up for a Microsoft Flow or Power Automate. And we'll cover more when we'll discuss about the licensing shortly. And apart from that also, when I talk about the browser, then most of the updated browsers are supported, whether it is Microsoft Edge, even if you are using Google Chrome, Firefox, Safari or i11, these are the browsers which it supports, and make sure it will be the updated browser. And if you want to communicate with your on-premises data, then those you can actually use the on-premises data gateway, so it will be helpful for you. So by using that, you can actually communicate with your on-premises as well. Apart from this, you have the Flow mobile apps. So you can actually go to the Play Store if you are using Android, even for iOS and Windows. These are the apps that are available. I have put the link so you can go there and check also. Even if you will want to work with button flows, then this one will be very helpful, your flow apps. So you can open your flow app in the mobile and then just click on the button, and then an email will be triggered to your maybe your manager or somewhere. So it's so easy that you can use this flow mobile apps. Even in the mobile apps, you can create the flow also. Now here is the question, is Microsoft Flow is free? Yes. According to Microsoft, there is a free plan available where you can create flows and where you can use it. But you will definitely missing out a lot if you are using just the free plan. And for a free plan, there is actually some limits also. So you are actually allowed 750 times per month if you want to trigger on the free plan, and then there will be 15 minutes gap it should be. Then only this is how the free plan works. But there is another approach that actually you can get Microsoft Flow or the Power Automate for free. And if you are a developer, this is the ideal thing that I'll suggest for you. So what you can do is, there is a plan, or there is a option which is known as Power Apps Community Plan. This plan is for the developers, where you can actually create even Power Apps, you can create Flow or Power Automate, unlimited apps you can use. You can see here, and if you are joining this community plan, then you will get a full featured environment for development in Power Apps and Power Automate. So you are not going to miss out anything if you are using this thing. But only thing is, this is for the development use or the individual use, not for production use. So even if your company, you have the subscription and you want to do practice for something, then also you can sign up for community plan, and you can learn everything on Power Apps, Power Automate and CDS, Common Data Service. But as an organizational use, if you want to sign up, then you can, there's a 90-day trial is available on free, so that you can go from flow.microsoft.com. So there you will see the option to sign in, and if you have not signed in, then you will see an option of free trial. So that free trial will be there for 90 days. That's what you can do if as an organization you want to use it. But as a developer, if you want to use it, my strong recommendation you should join the Power Apps Community Plan. And now let's discuss about the pricing or the licensing things. So there are two kind of plans or the licensing is available on Power Automate. One thing is licensed by user. So this is basically for the individual users. So in this also there are two types of plans are there. One is per user plan and the other one is per user plan with attended RPA. I'll tell you what is this one. So the per user plan will cost you $15 per user per month. And with this plan you can create unlimited flows, but there's a little bit of tweaks on this. So you are allowed to trigger 4,500 times per month, and there will be a 3 minutes gap between the triggers. That's what is the main thing. But if you are going for a per user plan with attended RPA, this will actually cost you more, because it will cost you around $40 per user per month. The benefit that you will get is you will get automate legacy application through robot process automation and AI. So that's you are getting, and you will get 5,000 per month AI builder service credits on this plan, and you can trigger 15,000 times per month, and there will be a 1 minute of gap. So this thing is per user plans. The other one is the license by flow. So in this case, as the name suggests, it is not for the user basis, it is for the flow basis, how many flows you are creating in the organization. And in this scenario, if you'll see this plan, your users across your organization can use it. And this plan is $500 for 5 flows per month. So that means around 100 per flow per month that you can use as an organization. And if you want additional flows, then you have to pay $100 per flow per month. And this plan, according to the price of this MSDN, you can see here it is 500 per flow plan. So that means at least you have to take for 5 flow. And this is the link where actually you can check the price, and also you can compare the features. That's the link is there, and you can have a look at that. Now next thing is how to get started with flow. Now either you should have a Office 365 subscription by now, where you have either a flow free plan, or you can have a license. And the other one is, if you are a developer, you just go for a Power Apps community sign up, and then you will get Power Apps and flow free. So either you should have that one. So once you have this subscription or the user, then we can actually create the flow. Now how we can access the flow or how we can create the flow? One is you can directly go to flow.microsoft.com. The other one is, if you have an Office 365 subscription, you will see Power Automate. So you can just click on this, and this will come from the app launcher. So if you click on this one, then you will have this option. And if you are a SharePoint developer or you have a SharePoint site, then you will go to SharePoint online list or library. You will see a flow option here, or automate here. You can see here automate and then Power Automate. It will ask you whether you want to create a flow, or you want to see all your flows, or you want to configure flows. So that's how it will come. So from your list or library also you can go. The other one is you can also go from your flow mobile app. So let's say whether it is Android or iOS, then you can open this flow in your mobile app, and then from there also you can create. But before that, let us first understand what is these templates and connectors are. So as I said, the templates, these are some predefined things or built-in templates that you can use to create a ready-to-use flow. And each flow will have a set of actions will be there default, and you can just use it. So literally there will be scenarios when you don't require to modify anything, and you can simply use that. And the templates are available not only for the Microsoft product, for others also. So that templates are specific to flow, not for the Microsoft only templates are available, nothing like that. There's a templates are available for all the products. And how we can get it? You can get it from here, templates. Let me show you here. So if I will just go to flow.microsoft.com, you will see that I'm landing up with this page. Make sure you sign in with a user, And once you sign in with Visual, you will come up to this page. You have not signed in, then it will ask you to sign in. So you just sign in and then you will come up with this page. And you can see here the URL is coming india.flow.microsoft.com because my country is India has been selected in this tenant. And here in the left side you can see here template is there. You can click on this template and then you will be able to see the templates here. So there are category wise you can see the templates. So if you click on button, you can see here send myself a reminder in 10 minutes. So there's a button flow. Click a button to email a note. You can see here. So these are kind of the button flows. Similarly, there are approvals. So you'll see send, set, start and start approval when a new item is added. Request manager approval for a selected file like this. So you will have this kind of templates that you can actually use it. So these are the templates. That's why you can do that. Apart from that, even if you are clicking on this plus create option, you will see that it is saying these are the flows that you can create or these are the templates that you can pick. So that's how it is. So you can also pick a template from here and you can use it. And these are known as the templates. And now the connectors. So when actually you are trying to use Microsoft Flow connector to connect with various services, Microsoft actually provided or allowed all these products so that to their platform so that they can use it. Now how you can communicate with your flow to the other services or the product or the app, that's what your connector. So you require that flow connector. Now you can also connect with, there will be connectors for Twitter, SQL Server, Google Calendar, Google Drive, like this. And here 2-3 types of connectors that you can use. One thing is standard flow connectors. So if you'll see, there will be normal connectors which will be available with your flow license. So these are like Twitter, LinkedIn, Google Calendar, OneDrive for Business, Mail, Gmail, Dropbox, Instagram, Bub4, Compare. So like this one, these are standard connectors, and you can see like this. Actually, if I will go here, if I will just show you, you can see this one, then you can see connectors here. So when you click on connectors, you can see these are the connectors. These are popular connectors. These are the connectors that has been recently added. The good thing is about Microsoft Flow is this one, that they are keep on adding connectors. So today if you are seeing 250 connectors are there, maybe tomorrow you will see that it reaches to 280. So because Microsoft is keep on adding things. And what you can do here is you can see an option which is saying also premium connector. And these are the connectors which are not available with your Office, with your Flow plan, unless and until you have enrolled for this premium one. So this requires a separate license or separate, it will come in a separate license, not with your Flow license. And how actually you can go here, if you'll see here, these are the connectors. And if I'll select standard, I'll be able to see all the standard connectors here. You can see here all the standard connectors. You can see how many apps are there and how to which there will be a lot of applications that you can actually connect with, or you can see here LinkedIn, Medium, Microsoft Forms, Kajal app. So these are the connectors which are there. Pinterest, you can do that. And the other one is, if you will see, just click over here and then you will see the premium connectors. You can see here Dynamics 365, see a lot of premium connectors are there. Azure DevOps, Salesforce, you can see Ali, Amazon, Redshift. So these are various connectors which are premium. So for this you have to take the license. And another one is custom connectors, where actually you can develop a connector and you can use that. So there you can do stuff. So these are about the connectors. Now let us understand the type of flows that you can develop. And so basically, like if you are a designer, workflow or consultant, something like that, then you might know that you will either trigger a workflow when you are adding one item or when you are updating an item, and then you can also manually start it. Now same way you will see what are the kind of flows that you can develop for your business. One is the automated flow. Automated flow, as the name suggests, it will trigger automatically. So you are not doing anything to trigger it. So we will just attach the flow to somewhere and then it will trigger automatically. So for example, let's say you want to send one email to the person who created an item in a SharePoint list. So you can probably send a customized email on that. So what will happen is, if someone insert an item, then they will receive a email automatically that thank you for submitting this item, something like that. And the other one is the instant flows. So if you'll see, instant flows means these are like you can run on a button click. So here you will see in the mobile app. So when you will go over their mobile app, then it will become as a button, and then you can just click on that and the flow will trigger. For example, let's say you want to send a work from home email to your manager. So you can configure that flow, and whenever you require, just click on that button and it will trigger a email to your manager. So that's how it will work. And then schedule flows. So schedule flows will trigger on a specific schedule. So you can actually schedule a weekly basis or a monthly basis, and the flow will be trigger on that specific time. Now where it will be helpful, now let's say you want to you have a document library and you want on a specific date all the documents should be moved to OneDrive for Business. So you can actually do it monthly basis or weekly basis. So your flow will trigger, and then it will take your all your documents from the document library and it will move to your OneDrive for Business. So that way you can use your schedule flows. Then business process flows are actually the flows. These are new things that is coming, business process flows and UI flows. Let's say the business process flow is where your company, all the people will follow the same processes. For example, let's say IT support ticketing system, then that is what, or a let's say new onboarding process. So all these people will follow the same process. So that is a business process flow. And the other flow is UI flows. So in a UI flow, you can record the clicks and the keyboard strokes from the desktop or web application, and then you can automate the playback of manual steps on a legacy kind of software. We'll see more probably in some other videos on this. Now once you have this, we know what kind of flows, licensing, everything. Now we will create a flow here. Now what flow we will create, we'll take a template and we'll use it. So for example, if you will look at here, I have a SharePoint list. This is a SharePoint list employees, and I want, if someone insert an item, then I should receive an email, something like that. So for in this scenario, you can actually start from a template and you can select a template here. For example, you can use this template, send a customized email when a new SharePoint list item is added. These are actually, if you look at the template name, you can understand what exactly this flow is doing. So now I'll come up with here. So you have various options on this. Either you can say, you can click over create and then you can select something from here, instant flow or something, or you can choose a template here. So in this case, I will select a template. So you can select here, send a customize. And once you do this, actually you can see here, this is, this one, send a customized email when a new SharePoint list item is added. Similarly, this one for when a new file is added. So obviously this will be for the document library, and this one we can use for a SharePoint list. So I'll click on this and you will look at now how simple it is. Now look at here, and then you see here, it will, you are connecting here. Actually you have not, if you have not signed in, then it will ask you to sign in. So there will be a button will come, you can just sign in here. So basically it requires actually to sign in, because it requires some permission from you. Let's say for the Office 365 users, Office 365 Outlook and SharePoint. So if you'll see, three things are there. So in the Office 365 users, it will actually pick the user's display name and email address to whom it will send the email. And the Outlook, it will send the email, and then the SharePoint, because we want to know who actually what is that SharePoint list where you are triggering. So that's the reason we require this permission. So once you do that, then click on continue. So once you click on continue, then you can see here it is asking you the SharePoint site address. So you can go here, you can search for this, or you can click on add a custom item and then you can put your site URL there. So in this case, if you'll see here, my site is this one, SPGuides, and here I'll select my list, and my list is employees. If you have more list, it will populate all the lists. So you can just select that particular list and then click on create. So your flow is done. Literally your flow is done. So you can see here now this flow is done. This is the name of the flow. By default, whatever the template name, it will take like this, or you can anytime actually you can change it. But before that, you can see here it is showing this is the flow settings page, where you will able to see the run history in the down, the connections in the right side, the details about the flow here. You can see here the flow, the owner, and the status, when it is created, what is the type, and the plan, those things. And then if you see, there is couple of buttons here: edit, share, save as, delete, send a copy, submit as a template. And if you want to turn off it, you can see this. And this actually will be available if you click on my flows. So if you go to my flows, you will see this is your flow, and you can see there is a edit button is there. So just click on edit and we'll actually see this. So see, the flow is already created. If I'll insert an item to this list, now the flow will trigger it. Let's do that before editing this, or before going to see what is there. So if I'll go here, I will just create one item here. So I'll just put it here, and I'll put the designation, let's say, and then just click on save. So now if you look at this, I have added this item, and according to our flow, it should send an email that this list item has been added. So I'll go and I'll open my Outlook here in another tab. You can see here. So we'll just wait for a second. So now you can see here, new item is added. This one you can see, and this is how it is coming. So this is our email, new item is added, and you can see here by default it puts something hi, and then the name, a new item is added by this, and this is the details, basically the title column that they have added. And if I'll actually look at this, now this is our flow. When a new item is added or created, this is when the flow will trigger, and here you can see for which site and which list. And the other action that it has added is the get my profile v2. This is actually where it will get the given name and the mail. So you can see here. So, and from there only this is the given name is coming. And send email. So if you'll see here, this is the mail that whatever in the two it is sending, then subject a new item added. So hi, given name, and then new item added, and this is a formula, it has been added by default, and then your flow is done. So you can see here. So this is the 3 actions that it has been added in the flow by default in that template. So you are not going to do anything on this. And this is how you can see. And if you'll see, look at a history here. Now it is showing that one is succeeded on this. So this is the place actually you will be able to see if there is any error or something is there. That's the place. So now this is how we can create the flow. So, and we saw how the email is coming and stuff like that. I put everything on this screenshot. You can have a look at this also article if you want. And also there are certain examples are there. Even in the training course, I have added couple of examples. So some examples are there. You can have a look at that. And I'll also add some more things now on this, so you can get notification on that. Now there are some other things that we'll discuss is what is the alternative to Microsoft Flow. First of all, I do not feel even if what are the products I have mentioned here, those are alternative to Microsoft Flow, because Microsoft Flow is now it is very a high enterprise level product. So it has a lot of the lot of platforms are there, a lot of products are there, a lot of apps and services are there. But there are few alternatives are there. One thing, this one IFTTT is a free web-based tool to get all your apps and devices talking to each other. So I have not gone through much over there, but here it is saying that you can connect with 600 plus brands like this. And then there is another one is Zapier in another platform that you can use to connect with various apps and automate workflows. And you can start workflows from any apps and execute from various actions. So basically this one is a competitive one, but both of the things actually, if you look at, you will not get the content management features or document management features. Those things you will not get. So only taking this as a flow platform Rather than that, I would recommend companies to go for a Office 365 because you are getting a lot more things up, just not just the flows. Okay, so that's how it will be. But these are few competitors that people are saying these are the competitors to Microsoft Flow or Power Automate. And here is the question: if you are a SharePoint developer, will Microsoft Flow is a replacement for SharePoint Designer? See, Microsoft, they have not created a product to replace SharePoint Designer. They actually created the product so that whatever the limitations were there in the SharePoint Designer, they can overcome this. For example, when they were talking about SharePoint Designer, it was only specific to SharePoint, but they want a product where they can communicate with other services, because when you are creating a flow or workflow, not necessarily always you will communicate with SharePoint or always you require approvals. So there are a lot of business processes which were missing or which cannot be executed or cannot be make automate through SharePoint Designer workflows. That's the reason they come up with a new product. If they wanted to replace it, then they could have been enhanced it. They don't need to create a separate product for this. So that is the reason they come up, because they want to cover all the areas. So that's the reason as an organization level, because nowadays as an organization level you are communicating not just with your Microsoft products or with your SharePoint. There are a lot of other products or services that you are using. So they want to make a large enterprise level products. That's the reason they come up with this. But obviously, if whatever the things that we used to do in SharePoint workflow, those things you can do using SharePoint Designer mostly. Whatever the things that you are doing in your SharePoint Designer workflows, those things you can do using Flow. So the answer is yes, Microsoft Flow can be a replacement for your SharePoint Designer workflows, because you can actually, let's say you have a list or library where you have attached some of the designer workflows, then actually you can make it to Flow. So you can actually create flows and you can attach to the same list or library, and then you can use it. So nowadays people are not using SharePoint Designer workflows. They have started using Microsoft Flow. So to answer this, yes, it is a kind of replacement. And the advantages are obvious. Few things. One thing is the developer knowledge you require for SharePoint Designer, because you will not see that your any business user or citizen developer, they will go and configure a SharePoint Designer workflow, but they can do things in Microsoft Flow. So even for a simple or complex workflows, you require developer knowledge in terms of SharePoint Designer workflows, but Microsoft Flow you don't require. And though there are a lot of actions are there in SharePoint Designer, so if you actually open SharePoint Designer 2013, you will see a lot of actions on that, but those are specific to your SharePoint. You will not see action which you can use to communicate with Twitter or Facebook. So you will not get that. So that's the reason, even if there are a lot of actions are there, but that is specific to SharePoint, and you require SharePoint knowledge to do that. But in Flow, you can it is easy to communicate, or it is easy to use with other services. As I said, also in Microsoft Flow you can connect with other services like Twitter, Dropbox, OneDrive. So these things are required. So overall, these are the advantages, where in terms of workflow actions, in terms of the developer knowledge, and the number of products or the apps or services you are trying to communicate. So these are the 3-4 major differences that you will feel compared to your Microsoft SharePoint Designer 2013 and SharePoint or Microsoft Flow. Now, as you know, also SharePoint 2010 workflows are now, people have started upgrading it. I think a lot of companies also, they have already upgraded or redeveloped using any other tool or using Flow. Most of the people who have Flow license, then they have started using it. But only thing that you will miss here is the number. Even for let's say I'm specific to SharePoint. I'm talking this one specific to SharePoint. Let's say I have a couple of sites and I require only SharePoint Designer workflows. So in those scenarios, actually, if you'll see, there is no limit. I can create number of workflows using SharePoint Designer, and it is completely free. But if I will try to use Microsoft Flow, then there is limits. Whether I will go for a per user plan or flow plan for my organization, there is cost associated. You cannot get it free. So that's the only thing is that I feel in terms of the free, and you have to pay somewhere. That's the thing. But if you have a requirement where you try to communicate with the other services, then you don't have other option also. You can go over Flow. So this is what I wanted to tell you, and I thought I'll make this complete video, and I hope this will be helpful. Even you have checked it other videos also. This is updated video that you can see it or you can watch it. I will put this link and I'll put updated so that you will get to know that it is updated video. So for the detailed step and the text, you can see the link I'll put in the course.